Hello, and I don't know what the what the. Hi, welcome. How's it going? I have issues. I have problems. I have a lot of energy, and I don't know what I'm doing with it. Welcome to the 119th episode of Rambling Weekly. Hope you are doing well. This is a Monday version because I ended up having to work on Sunday, and I will have to work again this coming Sunday. And quite frankly, just because it's called Rambling Weekly does not mean I have to keep it to a. It never fails. you know, it never fails. But good lord. Anyway, you know, I should just record all the time, and then all of a sudden, I will just be bombarded with messages or like, hey, here's an update. Actually, that's something. So, hope you are doing well. Hi. But that is something that I was like, oh, I really should do something about this. When was it? About a week or 2 weeks ago. I get it. It's like, hey, dumb butt. There's tornadic activity coming into your area. Please be careful. Oh wait, no, we're not. We're lying. It'll be fine. Oh wait, no, there might be some rain. So I was getting bombarded by the updates for weather. And it got to the point where I'm like, okay, please stop, cease, finish, finito, end, done, no more. For the love of all that is sweet and holy, please. And then I was like, wait, hold on. This is my phone. I can do what I want with it. And I went into the settings and finally turned that off. So I'm not getting bombarded as much because there was one day it was going off like every 30 minutes, and like I said, okay, I get it, dangerous weather or something, but it wasn't necessarily that. It was kind of like, oh, it's a little breezy. 30 minutes later, oh wait, no, well, it's gonna be a little wet, it's a little drizzle. It's like, okay, please stop. So but yeah, no, so that has gone on, and now I've hopefully have remedied that problem. Please. Anyways, I hope everybody's doing well. Apologies for the last couple weeks. I've not, like I said, I had to end up working Sunday, and I just, truthfully, I had intentions to try to sneak it in, and I just didn't get to it. I did get to the reading though, Saturday, excuse me. So that was nice because I came back after working, and then I did hot plate stuff. It was fantastic. It was delicious. It was tasty. How I really need to get into the habit of doing that more frequently. I don't do it enough, and it is nice. And it's what's nice too is that you can have a lot of food, or you can be filled up with a decent amount and still have a bunch of leftovers. Like I bought a thing of mushrooms. I had a couple green peppers, a couple onions. I only cut up one onion. I cut up both the green peppers. Had those, a thing of meat, and other stuff. Heirloom tomato. Just to kind of add on to it and stuff, because it's kind of like a gyudon sort of thing. Meat over rice. So good. Lots of different little seasonings and stuff. It was so tasty. Anyways, but we still had a bunch of leftovers, and by we I meant Todd and I. Like he had to work on Sunday too, and he got done. And part of it was a celebration. I got a little bit of a raise, so that's always nice. It's always nice to get a little bit of a raise out of things. Double entendre intended. But yeah, so that but that, and then the week prior was Easter and everything. I think I worked Saturday that week prior, so and that just threw things into a loop. And sometimes, if you watch the channel for any amount of time, I have a bad habit of doing that. But it is what it is. I do appreciate you sticking around and whatnot. And maybe one day, it might Who am I kidding? It will never be. It will always be. You know, what's the line from Dirty Harry? Lower than hammered whale shit. It'll always be. It'll always be like that, unless somehow, by the grace of the algorithm, you know, whatever, the algorithm monster, um, decides to touch me with its noodly appendage. Wait, I don't know if I like that, but yeah. So then we got that going on. Yeah. But yeah, that's going on. I'm about 150 odd pages into part two. I think I've mentioned it. I'm starting to get back into the groove on that. It's been nice. That and also, been touching back up on poetry. I think part of it from just writing the stories and working on song stuff that I can't sing very well. I have really drifted away from doing some poetry stuff, and I've missed it because it's scratching a different part of the brain, and my brain's kind of smooth, so it's like, sometimes you just gotta get in there and give it a good old scratch. Um, so yeah, that's been pleasant. Nothing I feel quite comfortable putting out there, but I do have ideas for putting together like a little poetry book. I've had this thing for the idea for this for years. Um, so that's something I'm going to look into actually doing here. A little supplemental. Not necessarily that it has anything to do with Sage's Calling or Sudraba or any other story that I decide starts with S, because for whatever reason, that's how it goes. That's what I do. Because I honestly don't know. I really don't have a good reason for it, other than it just sounds nice. I mean, it makes sense. Sage's Calling, that would make sense. Sudraba, that's the place where the thing's at. I couldn't call it Pirail, Kingdom of Pirail. That doesn't sound. That's not. Doesn't quite do it. No. Dangerous. And then I've got another one that starts with an S, and then I have another one that starts with a P, and then another one that starts with an E, because I am crazy. I, I am a little bit on the loop. The hamster's dead, but the wheel's still spinning. Anyway, yeah. So this is the energy I've got. Like I've been like this for the last, I don't know, little bit of time. I mean, if you happen to catch the reading from 2 days ago, aka Saturday, the 26th, you would have probably detected that as well. I don't know. It's nice. It's nice to have this kind of silliness, because I think far too often, I know my mom would say this. It's like you're always so closed off, and it isn't. It's kind of like, if you just have like a stick a something in your brain, and then like look in there. It isn't like there's a whole bunch of craziness going on. It's really just kind of like it's like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Farmland, and maybe a breeze, and the little wheel thing just kind of turning, but nothing spooky. It's just kind of like kind of pleasant like that. But yeah. So that's that. Don't. Oh, I guess a random update. I let's see. I don't know how. Let's see. I know what I'm doing. I've been playing the Dooms because they had the update for it. I was playing a little bit of that. I actually got I finally did one of those. I don't remember which one it was, but I have missing three achievements. It was four. Yeah, three achievements left to get for the Mega Man Legacy Collection. Mega Man, well, the first one, so 1 through 6, and I finally beat one of them that for a while I had tried it. I think it was. I don't know. There's a few of them that it's like, hey, beat the Robot Masters with no weapons other than the little pew pew gun, the Buster gun, the Buster. Yeah, right. I don't. Wow. For liking Mega Man, I certainly do not remember what the arm cannon is called. I remember E-Tanks and Eddie and Rush, oh my, but please do not ask me why I can't remember that. Oh why, oh why. Anyway, but now I got one of those, so I am only missing three challenges. Will I ever get them? Probably not, because I am not very good at defeating robot masters with just the pew pew buster. I want to say Buster Blade, but that is not right at all, even remotely so. So yes. But I was very happy to get that one. It was nice. Will I ever try to get silver and gold? Because that's what I was missing, the 50th bronze medal one, and silver and gold. No, probably not. But I don't know. It would. I was doing those brief speed runs of 9. I'm tempted to do those, but in the same hand, it's like I've gotten to a good happy medium for the most part, for playing something, but also taking care of other business like writing or doing the GMing and stuff for the online tabletop stuff that we do. But I've sort of hit a good happy medium with it. So it's something that I don't know if I could really do, because oddly enough, I've got a secret to tell you guys. I've been playing Dark Souls 2. I think I mentioned it a while back, about a couple months ago. I played through, finally beat the one. It was the remastered one. I don't care if, oh my goodness, you didn't play the original. It is just a game. And I am not very good at it, but I did beat it. At least one time through. I started to play a little bit of it a second time through, and I was like, okay, I might come back to this at some point. And then I was like, you know what? I bought 2 kind of at a point when I was still enjoying 1. And I was like, well, I'll get 2. It's on sale. It was on sale at the time. I was like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. And I was like, you know what? Well, I'll give it a shot. I actually really like Dark Souls 2. I'm only a handful of hours into it, but I really like it. I like it a lot more than 1, which is probably because it matches my freak. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for it. I always like the oddball one. So it's like I like Mega Man 4, or Mega Man Legends, or Majora's Mask when it was still considered the weird one. There was that time. It was a thing. I don't have anything else to that. But just Castlevania too. Like I like the weird ones. They just touch me just right, right here. But yeah. So that's really about all I got on sync. So yeah. Topic. I had ideas for some. At one point I was like, oh, I'll do the panopticon thing, and I'd still want to do panopticism, because I think it ties in well with the 117th episode, the Potemkin Village one, where it's I still very much stand by that there's far too much of this projection of what is, like, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to be up front. But yeah, I want to. I mean, I have the file for it, but I want to reread it and be able to do it properly without. I want it to be a little bit more than just simply rambling, as it were. So I don't have really good updates on things. I don't know. Kind of had it a topic. I guess if anything, I don't really know. Does anybody really know? I guess a little bit more serious. I guess I don't know. I have. This is gonna sound really stupid, but I have this really this really um, basic like health app on the phone, and it has helped me be a little bit better about doing things healthily. Like I have had, I don't know, I've been trying to keep good with it, but I don't know. Sometimes you need those things to help keep on task. Kind of similar to like scheduling. I really am a very strong proponent of that, because I think if I'm, of course I'm only speaking for myself and the other voices in my head, but you for myself, it is really difficult to um, to if I do not hammer stuff down and be like, okay, we got to schedule this, schedule that, like block scheduling or something. Outside of doing something fun or something, it's like you don't want to go too far, because I think if you go too far, everything's monotonous. It's like, oh, we'll do this at 10, do this at 11. No, and be like, okay, well, I want to spend half an hour writing. Okay, well, that half an hour might bleed out to an hour and a half or something, or maybe it only ends up being 20 minutes, but then you spend 40 minutes reading something, not necessarily just reading the internet, but like reading a book, or specifically a book, because I'm still getting through it, but the one about like the shallows, what the internet's doing to our brains, I got to a point and then I stopped, and I need to go through and just get through the rest of it. But it was talking about the focus, and also the tactile differences, especially now with Kindle having all these different hyperlinks and stuff. It starts to really, really detract away from your attention and focus, and that is not something you can easily keep track of. Plus the just degradation of, you're trying to do too much sensory overload, and the concerns of like how that produces anxiety in individuals and stuff. I highly recommend the book. I got it somewhere. Where? Oh, I'll grab it real quick. Check out my big butt. Yard. Right there, by Nicholas Carr. Highly recommend this book. So, don't need the headphones. Anyways, so really, really, I don't know. As somebody who is hyper independent to a fault, having something there to remind me to be like, hey, you goof, you've only exercised for 67 minutes so far today, and not even really that intensely. It's only about X amount of calories. It says 194 because it's all from like walking. But you've only 6,278 steps, yada yada yada. So I don't know. It is very helpful for the hyper independent to have something to needle you and to be like, hey. Of course, if you let it seep in too much, it's like nah. But I don't know. And there's a bunch of stuff here. It's all about mindfulness, the mood check-in, breathing exercising, meditation, and it is. I think we certainly have made an effort to be more cognizant, more aware of, hey, mental health, and hey, trying to do things like the meditation or being more considerate of others and stuff. in one hand, yeah, that is it's good. In another hand, it's kind of it makes me wonder how impressionable is that? How well is that working out? If especially when there is the juxtaposition between a device pushing on you in that way versus other people doing it and you doing it back to other people. Um, I'd be fibbing if I didn't say that hearing Graham, when previous guest, talk about some of the stuff that he's been doing on Sundays. Not so much with winter, but summer and stuff last year. That I'd be fibbing if I didn't say that kind of started to seed in and be like, oh, I should be doing more and being a little bit more active and stuff. And saying and doing are two entirely different things, and um, yeah, and that's the thing about it, right? Is that you can say like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, but then it's like, well, how are you going about doing it? Are you actually doing it, or are you just kind of saying it? Because that's the one of the tricky things about the brain is like, oh, if you say it, the brain acknowledges it, and it's like, oh well, see, we noticed it, we noticed there's a problem, but we're not gonna do anything. It's fine. dog, dog sitting at the table, house on fire. It's fine. Uh, and it's just an unfortunate thing. I don't even know what kind of. And I guess it's in a sense of it makes some sense. It's like better the devil you know than the devil you don't. So kind of like, oh well, just like that. But yeah, it is. I think more than anything, I think to have the in person community is much more important, or beneficial, I should say. Because I think if if all you have is the online one, that's more important because you don't have the in person thing. But I think because if it's in person, there's a lot more interconnectedness and interdependencies, as opposed to dependencies or independencies. Because that's the other thing with online. Online, I think it still fosters an independent ability, which is the step you want to take, right? Dependency, independent, interdependency. And I think that's where we have really struggled as a just people, is to do the interdependency. Whether it's because we want to just kind of keep things chillax, keep it cool, and don't want to have that abrasion. It's like things are already tough as it is. I don't need, don't want to be somebody's parent or needler or what have you. But in the same hand, it's kind of like with friends and stuff. It's if it's something you notice, or it's like, hey, speak up, kind of thing. You don't want to not say anything. That, and also this is where it's important to know other people's intentions and dreams and goals and stuff, so that if they say, hey, I have a goal of, I don't know, making $1 million, let's say. Okay, well, what kind of job do you have? You're obviously not just gonna boom, 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 but it's like you log that, and then you're like, okay, this is what this person's doing. You don't want to be like, oh, you're going out, you're eating some chili dogs here. Why are you spending that money? Cut the avocado toast for 30,000 years, and you might get there one day. Less that and more of, okay, if anything, be like, I can cover for it. It's just soft ways to be like, cover the meal for it, and then there's that little little bit of a step towards that. And it's like, hey, what are you doing for work? What are you trying to turn that into? Um, any other opportunities to just kind of get the ball rolling, and hopefully, because at the end of the day, it all comes from here, from me, directly from me to you. But it all comes from here. And if it's similar to like oh, with like struggling with some sort of addiction or the like, is that you can certainly be prodded and poked along to be like, okay, well, you don't want to do that, don't want to do that. There are ramifications, and stuff. But if somebody wants to do something, they have. They will find a way to try to do it, or if they can't do that specific thing, they may try to do something tangentially to it. So, but if they want to change, they okay, you try to help them, but then it still falls to them to make that sort of change. At least that's what I am a big firm believer in that, and not to say that people can't or unable. I think it's just it is certainly the big struggle of doing that, and I think it's why I've been pretty fortunate in that regard, because I was thinking about this. I was talking with a few different people about this just from like a young age. I think I might have mentioned it in the ear one a couple episodes ago, but it's like, a lot of people my age made fun of me for the ear thing and stuff, so I really did not jive with them folk. So, but I experienced, and particularly I remember AA meetings that I was brought along to, because there was no babysitter to watch, and getting to know those people, and those were like some of the first outside of family who were like actually communicate to you like you're a human being and not just some sort of filth or rubbish. So that certainly left an impression, and just kind of to see how those individuals would struggle and try to keep things afloat, and to be like, yeah, it's I don't know, it's like it's a recognition that, so, whatever the faults may be, it's like those don't simply define me. I can recognize them, and certainly will stumble and trip over those cracks every now and again, but I'm not going to allow myself to fall down it. And sometimes you can say that and still fall down it. But to quote, I know I've used it in ancient Rambling Weeklies, but to quote the Al Swearingen of Deadwood, it was that show, that wonderful show, is when he's talking to Merrick, the newspaper guy, after his newspaper business was ransacked, he he smacked him, and he's like, are you dead? No. Well, that's taken into consideration. That's 2-3 beatings you've had, and it's are you dead? No. Okay, well, take it like the world doesn't end until you're dead. Take the hits and be like a man and give it back. I think that's what you got to do. Sometimes you just got to give it back. Not necessarily, not necessarily in the same way, right? You don't want to be like, oh, somebody hit me, well, I'm going to hit that person, kind of thing. You do want to defend yourself and stuff, but not if some sort of nebulous outside of the regular thing. Oh, here's some bad instances. Oh, well, I'm going to make it everybody's problem. You don't want to do that. I don't think that's good. Might not be. Anyways, yeah, that's really all I got. I'd been meaning to, and then I boofed it. So I wish to unboof it, and who knows? I might have one later this week. Because yeah, it's only a name. It doesn't mean that I have to do it only once a week and come out on Sunday. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. And I don't know where I was going with that, other than I don't know. If you're hyper independent, perhaps look into something to prod you along. Whether it's people you know, or it's just a simple little app thingy on your phone. No, that's it. Toodles. Thanks for watching. I don't have an outro for this one. This one's just going to be... That's right. I have reached maximum-ish lazy. I don't... Not really. It'd be just not doing anything anymore. I'm not at that point yet. So, that's it. Toodaloos. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye.